This is Richard Wolff from Democracy at Work with another Wolff Responds for our Patreon community. I want to talk about the collapse of American capitalism and the fight that we are therefore plunged into. All the rules and regulations have been thrown away. The government has thrown them away in inventing new policies, creating new money, lowering interest rates to new lows, new, different, new initiative, original, you name it, the government is doing it. And every business is in deep trouble, trying everything to stay afloat. No point in following rules and regulations if doing so brings you to the end of your rope. So you better do whatever you can get away with. Everybody is on their own. Renters are not paying, putting landlords in trouble. The landlords are getting their lawyers and their associations together to get pressure on the politicians to help them out. Commercial tenants are not paying their landlords either. The massive employers are demanding wage cuts and benefit cuts from their existing workers because of all those unemployed people desperate to have a job who will work for 20% less, for fewer benefits, etc., etc. Everybody is squeezing everybody they can to survive. That's how capitalism works when it falls apart, when it comes upon the end of the good times, the way we have with the crash of 2008 and now the even bigger crash of 2020. I tell you all of this because if the working class employees do not organize themselves, they will be the losers in this fight of all against all. The landlords and the tenants will come to an agreement at the expense of employees. The government will do the things the big businesses want at the expense of the little businesses, and if the little businesses fight back because they have some association, well, then it'll all be taken out of the hide of the working people because they don't have associations that protect them. The last time capitalism crashed this way in the 1930s, a new labor organization was built called the Congress of Industrial Organizations, CIO. In the period of 3-4 years in the middle of the 1930s, they organized tens of millions of workers. It was the greatest labor organizing drive in American history. Never anything like it before, never anything like it since. People rose to the occasion. Tens of thousands of other Americans joined two socialist parties and a communist party. And the two socialist parties and the communist party and the CIO worked together to mobilize the working class. Not everybody, but a huge chunk, tens of millions of them. And as a result, they weren't sacrificed in the Great Depression. Here's what the working class got at a time when the government said, I can't help you, I have no money, nobody's paying taxes, everybody's unemployed. When every company said, I can't help you, I have to squeeze you because I've been losing money in this Great Depression. Just like they're saying now, I've been losing money from this great pandemic. Excuses vary, message is always the same. Well, what did an organized working class get to say and do? What it said was, you're not going to fix your broken capitalism on our backs. Not going to happen. You're going to help us just like you help the banks and you help the big corporations and you help etc., etc. You're going to help us too, or else we're going to vote you out of office and there'll be a basic revolution in this country. Mr. Roosevelt, the president at the time, had no trouble hearing and understanding. If he lost the vote of the working class, he wouldn't be president much longer. He got the message. So very quickly, here's what he did. He created the Social Security system. Suddenly, every American 65 years of age or older got a check every month for the rest of their lives, making their retirement decent and removing them as terrible burdens on families already hurt by the Great Depression. That was real service that an organized working class got. Then there was the passage of unemployment compensation. The federal government had never done that. Now, if you lose your job for no fault of your own, you get a weekly check for a year or so. Then there was the first minimum wage, precisely so that employers could not take advantage of unemployment to lower the standards of wage payments and living of the working class. And finally, 15 million unemployed people got federal jobs from 1934 to 41. You see what an organized working class can do? It's not just protecting yourself when everyone is struggling for themselves, cutting contracts, violating rules, and wanting to squeeze somebody to save themselves. It's not just defensive. It also means that the working class can come to the political table with votes, millions of them, to make sure that working people, the majority, who should be helped in a democracy to begin with, but aren't in our kind of capitalist democracy, organization is how you survive in the fight we are now in. This is Richard Wolff for Democracy at Work with another Wolff Response.